everyone, I'm the Peculiar Pisces and welcome to my channel. Today is July 11th, 2025, Friday, July 11th, 2025, and this is Flosstube video number 51. I am back with my weekly updates. I know I haven't been back for 2 weeks. I didn't film last week because last week was the July 4th holiday, so I'm back with my regular updates. So let me just jump into it. There was no stitchy mail again. I haven't been purchased anything. So let's jump right into project number one. Project number one is The Lady of the Thread by Lavender and Lace. And I am doing a color conversion for her dress. And then I'm going to change the dress to purple, which I'm not even close to that point yet. So here is my progress. So I have just pretty much been working since the last time you saw it. Like, I worked in finishing up whatever was left in these blue flowers up here, and then I moved on to this pink rose, peach. I think it's a rose, not a peach, because if it's a peach, then it's like a sliced open peach, and that would just be weird. This one, I symbol by symbol put into Floss Cross so that I could work on the conversion. And so it's in this book. I got to work on it twice since the last time we filmed. I worked on it July 2nd for 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 52 seconds, which for the week of 7:30 to 7:06 brought my total time from so I was coming into July at 25 hours, 1 minute, and 50 seconds on this project. And so now, so with the 2 hours from July 2nd, I'm at 27 hours, 10 minutes, and 42 seconds. And for that week, I got 267 stitches on it, and it brought my stitch total up to 2,671 out of 17,306 stitches, and that put me at 15.43%. And then I worked on it again yesterday, July 10th. Yeah, July 10th is yesterday, for 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 22 seconds. So that's brought my total time up to 28 hours, 48 minutes, and 5 seconds. And when I worked on it, I got 182 stitches in, so it brought my stitch total to 2,843 out of 17,306, and it's at 16.49%. And this is 14 count Aida. It's just Charles Craft Aida that I got from, pretty sure I got it from Michael's. And it's like stone, or it might just be called gray, but I think it's called like stone. Unfortunately, I don't have the insert that came in the little package with it anymore, so I don't know what the color is exactly. But it's like stone or gray or some sort of rock sounding kind of name. And put these things back. Okay, and then project 2, I am back on the Dutch Beauty sampler. And I finished page 2. I finished page 2. Not that you can tell where because of that, but let me pop a few of these off. So here's my progress on the Dutch Beauty Sampler. So page 1 and page 2, well, they're not fully finished because like there's like an inch or so left at the bottom of the design. And there are things that start under this, but I would have to count down, and they would just be like a few floating stitches for like the tops of like the rabbit's ears and like these few things down here. So I won't bother stitching those until I get down to the next row so that it'll all actually make sense instead of having what looks like some floating stitches hanging around. But here's my progress. Now this one, this book. So this one, I worked on it for the week of 6:30 through 7/6. I worked on it on July 3rd, and I got to put in 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 21 seconds. And when I worked on it, I put in 407 stitches, and it brought my total time. I was starting July out at 35 hours, 32 minutes, and 17 seconds. So it brought my total time for last week at 37 hours, 28 minutes, and 39 seconds. And for that week total, I've done 6,810 stitches. This one I scanned and I've manually brought it into Pattern Keeper. And so it's counting every single square in the 10 by 10 blocks going across and not just the ones that there's a symbol in. So it's telling me I have a ridiculous amount of stitches, like 200 and almost 250,000 stitches, something like that. And I know for a fact it's not a full 250,000 stitches because of the way that I brought it in Pattern Keeper. So I'm not quite sure how many stitches there are, just that I'm at 6,810 for the previous week. And I don't know what the total stitches are, unfortunately. At least not yet. Once I'm finished, I can tell you how many there are. So then the week of 7/7 through 7/13, I got to work on it on July 8th for 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 10 seconds. And I did 226 stitches, and that's brought my stitch total up to 7,035. And so my total time so far is 38 hours, 53 minutes, and 49 seconds. Okay, and then project number 3, I'm really excited about because it's my chatelaine. I finally got to start my chatelaine. Pull this out. Okay, so here's the cover photo, and the cover photo does not match the pattern. At least mine doesn't. I got mine from 123 Stitch, and I don't know if that matters. Perhaps if I had bought it straight off of Chatelaine's website as opposed to 123 Stitch, I don't know. So I know that this was originally a mystery one, and I don't know how it was done, if it was like released in parts or what, but my pattern does not match the cover photo. So the inside of this picture shows something that looks like a white peacock that I can't tell if that's like a plastic or like a button or a special bead, or if it was done with like a specialty stitch. But it looks like a peacock with white lines coming out of it, and then it looks like a bunch of dark, almost pearl-like beads that go around the outside to like make the peacock's tail. That's what's in this photo. And a lot of the other, when I Google it, a lot of the other photos are coming up that looks like this. But as I start, because I'm a middle owl stitcher, and of course I'm starting my chatelaine in the middle and working out like I normally do. So my stitches aren't matching the picture. So let me move all this away. Turn it some. There we go. So here's my start, which this right here is my middle. And so as I'm going, I can see these are like peacock eyes around it. And there is a lot of beading here, but it's smaller beads, not anything that looks like it would be called for in the picture. So I'm a little confused, and I don't know if that's because the photo is from the mystery and perhaps they've changed it since then, or I don't know. I just don't know. So that's in this notebook. Okay. Excuse me. I'm so sorry about that. So I only got to work on this once since I've started last week. It's been very hit or miss when I can work on my projects, and so I'm doing what I can. So I got to work on it on July 1st. Like the first day of the month, I pulled my chatelaine, and then I haven't pulled it since. So I have put into it total 2 hours, 36 minutes, and 31 seconds. So that was 2.5 hours of work. Doesn't feel like a lot yet, but that's because a lot in that area is beads, and I'm having to skip and count. So let me know if you've done this particular chatelaine and if your cover photo matches what you stitched, or if you were one of the people that got it while it was a mystery, if it was a different center to begin with. I mean, I don't know. That cover photo does not match the pattern. What can I say? Okay, and then project 4 is my Plaid Bucilla kit 4 seasons, and I am in the spring quadrant. Again, because I'm a middle out stitcher, that's just where I start, and I typically like just divide my pattern into 4 pieces and then just start from the middle, and I do the first quarter and then the second quarter and then the third quarter and then the last quarter. Typically how I do it. So here is my progress. It's mainly it was just mainly some pinks in a little bit down here in the water and then a little bit in the trees up here. Not that you can tell that's what's going on in the picture yet, but that's what's going on in the picture. I've got 2 little sheep over here just eating grass. And then this is the start of a couple of cherry blossom trees that are reflected a little bit in this little pond. I sort of thought about switching it and working in the summer section, but I'll just do it like I normally do and focus on this area. So that's it. Okay, and then project 4. So coming into July, I was at 6 hours, 55 minutes, and 55 seconds. And let's see. I did not work on it at all the week of 6:30 to 7:6. And for this week, 7:7 to 7:13, I worked on it on 7:7. And I worked on it for 56 minutes and 38 seconds. So that has brought my total time to 7 hours, 52 minutes, and 33 seconds. And this one's a paper copy, and so I don't have the stats on it. Yeah, I don't have the stats on my Chatelaine because it's also a paper copy. I scanned it and I put it in my phone, and I'm using whatever the standard PDF reader is on my phone. And I'm just using a highlighter and highlighting the areas when I work on the Chatelaine. So really, this one, the Bucilla kit, is the only one this time that I'm working with an actual physical paper copy. The rest have been either put into Floss Cross and converted so that I could bring it into Pattern Keeper, or I scanned it and brought it into Pattern Keeper, or yeah, that's it. Yeah, so that's how I'm doing him this time. And really, I went back and I was looking through my phone in March trying to figure out, what days I worked on which ones, because March was spring break. That's when I touched all of these last, was in March during spring break. And my mom was here during spring break. And so I didn't work on very much stitching while my mom was here. We did make that trip up to Denver to to a needle shop. And that's where I got my specialty threads for the Chatelaine, which are looking so beautiful. I know when I showed the Chatelaine, oh, didn't I didn't talk about my fabric. I do that every time. I forget about my fabric. I did tell you for the lavender and lace, that is a 14 count Charles Craft Aida that I got at the store. I'm not sure the color. I think it's like stone or gray. I don't know. The Dutch Beauty sampler, I hand dyed that myself, and I did a come dye with me video for that. It was a live video. So for the Chatelaine, this is, let me just grab it again. This is Fiberliscious Yummy Fibers, and it's called Dreamweavers. And the way that I stitched it onto my frame is the green is at the top and the purple is at the bottom. And I do need to remember that so that when I put this back on my frame in 4 months or 3 months, whatever, that I put it on the frame the right way so that my stitches are all going the right way. But this is 32 count 32 count Lugana opalescent, and the size on this is 26 by 36. I'm really just crossing my fingers and hoping that that it's big enough. It seemed like it was really going to be close on the size, and I was like, I could use a little less border if I needed. So I'm just hoping. And as you can see, this actually barely fits into my frame. Like I have it like right at the edges on both sides. So it's very, very close. But I love this fabric. This fabric is beautiful, just beautiful. And then for the Plaid Bucilla kit, I'm using the called for kit fabric that came with it. It was 28 count ivory even weave, and I hand dyed it myself. I did not do a come dye with me video, and I kind of wish I had, because I love how the purples or fuchsias, like whatever color you want to call that, turned out. I used 2 different of these purple colors that were really similar to each other but different, and I love how the fabric came out. The ivory with these two purple colors just, it came out phenomenally. So that's where I am. So this is pretty much, oh, the county fair starts on Saturday, and I believe my family and I are either going tomorrow or we're going Sunday, but I think it's tomorrow. So we're going to the fair, and I will record what I can as we go through the video, and then I'll make a Flosstube extra to show, you know, everybody what was presented at my fair. I don't know, did I talk about it a couple weeks ago when we went to drop off? The drop off dates were Saturday and Sunday. Or was it Friday and Saturday? I can't remember now. But the drop off, it was two drop off dates. I couldn't make the first date. I think it was Friday and Saturday. And I couldn't make the Friday date because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to. No, because Fridays are my day off. I had to film my YouTube video that day. Maybe that was it. I had to film my YouTube video, and I had like a bunch of other errands. So I couldn't go on Friday. So my family and I, we drove and we took it up on Saturday, and I realized that it was only like a 30-minute drive. So I felt so silly for waiting. I wouldn't have needed to wait, but we dropped it off on Saturday. And though it was in the morning and there were still a few more hours for drop-offs, I did not see many other cross stitches at that time. And so it's possible that the stuff that they received on Friday just wasn't out when I was dropping things off on Saturday. So there may have been a whole bunch of things that were dropped off on the day previous and I just didn't see it. But when I was there, and based on fabric count, because that's how they do their categories, the category that my Teresa Wensler is in is 14 to 18 count. That's the category. So it's based on your fabric count. So the only other cross stitch at the time that I saw that would have been my direct competition, because it was 18 count and mine was 16 count. So that puts us in the same category. It was a lavender and lace, and it was one of the Celtic ladies, but it was the Christmas one, the Noel one. And I don't know. I just feel, I mean, this is me being biased, of course, but I feel like my Teresa Wensler was better than the lavender and lace Celtic lady. I felt like there was a lot more stitching to mine in comparison to the Celtic lady. Though mine did not have beads, my piece was 90% blends. So I don't know. It's just me being biased, but I feel like I felt like seeing that, I was like, okay, I think I have a pretty good chance. But, I just, that was me being biased. And I told my husband, I was like, that's probably my biggest competition. Like I said, unless there were more. And so I can't wait to go to see what all is there. I can't wait. And county fair is going for a week, and then I believe that I have to pick it up on Sunday of next week, I think. Yeah, so then I have to get ready to take it to state fair. So all the fairs are finally coming up, and that's it, I think. That's it. So I will see everyone most likely next week. I don't have any plans coming up. Oh, wait, I do have a doctor's appointment next week on my day off. So I might not get to do it depends on when my doctor's appointment. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. I have these glasses. They're from Pair Eyewear, and so they're magnetic, and so I change them to match my clothes, or these match the outfit that I wore to work last night, and I just haven't changed them to match my outfit for today. And occasionally, if I bump them just right, that happens and it falls off, and it's very annoying, especially if I have to put like a sweater on and off over my head. I do it all the time then. Anyway, I have a doctor's appointment on the 18th. So depending on that, I'm going to plan to not have a video, and then if everything works out really good, then and I can do it, then it'll be like surprise, yay, I was able to film. But let's just plan on me not filming for next week. So then planning it that way, then I will see everyone on the 25th with another 2-week update. Also, I did not work on any temperature projects at all. They just didn't see any attention. I just didn't get to them. I've been kind of busy during the days. So that's it. And I will see everyone in probably 2 weeks. So see you then.